Abundance Coaching TV. Welcome again. My name is Scott Epp, and I'm the host of Abundance Coaching TV, where we have life coaching TV that makes a difference. Today, I'm excited about changing it up a little bit with the guests that we have. Normally, what we have is we have motivational speakers or popular people that are into the authorship of books, or people that are really on the cutting edge of peak performance. And today we have that combined with the internet world and passionate with that internet side of things. Because as we know right now, many people are making their online businesses, and a lot of people are successful and some people aren't successful. And there are reasons why people are successful or not successful in the online world. But you know what the cool thing too is that I've seen Rachna in a number of different avenues, and one of the things that I've always noticed is her positivity with life. And she really brings that passion, that exuberance to what she does. She loves what she does, and she's made a really good income doing it, but also she's helped a lot of people along the way. So there's that contributing factor that really is solid within Rachna too. So I'm excited to interview her and just to let the world know more about who Rachna is and how to really just be more passionate, profitable, and popular. So that's the title of our episode today: Passionate, Profitable, and Popular. So how would you love to have those three things combined? So I'll leave you that question just to stew it over in your mind. If you're in the online space making money or not making enough money, or you want to learn more, or if you just in your life want to have more passion, want to be more profitable, and want to be more popular, this episode's for you. Alright, so here we go. And now I'm going to introduce Rachna. Now Rachna's very I've known Rachna for a couple years now, and the connection that we have together is Jeremy Miller and Andrea J. Lee. And I have had the privilege of working on a team with Rachna at some of the Wealthy Thought Leader conferences, and we've got a chance to bond over some of those occasions and through a couple other occasions as well. And it's really cool because from last year's Wealthy Thought Leader to this year's Wealthy Thought Leader, Rachna has written a book. And it is awesome. And I'm going to read her bio on the back of the book here to introduce her. As the owner of 2 six-figure businesses built from the internet marketing and a psychologist by training, Rachna brings real-world expertise to helping her clients use the internet to make money more efficiently as they become more well-known. Her methods work within a wide range of industries because they rely on human motivations which haven't changed much in thousands of years. An acclaimed writer, speaker, Rachna is also a novice potter, mosaic, jewelry maker, digital photographer, and social dancer. Welcome to our show, Rachna Jain.
Thanks so much, Scott. It's great to be here.
Yeah, you bet. And I am privileged to have you on our show. I'm honored to have you today on our show.
I am really excited to be here and very honored as well.
Yeah, cool. So in your words, would you share with me and the audience, I guess, where you were before I knew you, before I knew the Rachna Jain that's out there in the coaching world? Where were you? What were you doing?
Yeah, well, I actually started my career as a psychologist, and so I'm trained as a clinical psychologist, and I thought that what I was going to end up doing was basically have a kind of a standard psychotherapy practice where I'd just be working with couples and families and helping people solve their problems one-to-one. But actually the way that the whole transformation happened for me is I started working online back in 1998, and I built my first website, which was really ugly, but I built my first website, and I used the internet at that time, which was so new, to fill my psychology practice. Then I became interested in the world of coaching, and I used the internet to fill my coaching business as well. And then people started asking me, how are you doing this? Because everyone was interested in using the internet to get clients, and I had success doing it. So I started to say, oh, well, you do this, and you do this, and you do this. And then people said, I don't want to learn it. I want you to do it for me. And so about a few years back, maybe 5 or 6 years ago now, I started taking on clients in a very limited way and doing their online marketing for them. And then I realized that I completely loved it. And then I shifted over my whole business to do that. And that's what I do now. So my main focus is on helping people become more well-known online and then make more money in their businesses online as well.
Oh, that's so cool. So what that really goes together with our conversation. But before we get into what you're doing now in your book and things, there's something that intrigued me here with what you'd said. So 2 6-figure businesses built from internet marketing. So tell us about that. What's that about?
Absolutely. So I have one, my first business was I don't count my psychology business because that was sort of early on and that didn't quite hit 6 figures. But my first business that has hit 6 figures is a dissertation coaching business where I help dissertation writers complete their dissertations. And so that is completely run from the internet. And I don't do the coaching anymore, but I have coaches who do the work. I have some books and products in that area. I'm invited to speak at universities on that topic. And I think we've helped probably more than six or 700 people write their dissertations, most in a year or less. And so that was my first business, which I made. It was a lot of trial and error, but I built that from the internet. And then my second business is the one that I do right now, which also generates business from the internet.
Whoa, cool! That's awesome. So that gives that gives credibility to what we're going to talk about, because we are going to be talking about profits, and there are a lot of people that are in the space here that are interested in profits. But one question that comes up a lot for me, because my slogan for our company is live with passion and have abundance in life. So part of what that means is that, like, if I were to dig it out and just unravel it a little bit more, really what I do is I help people get unstuck so they can live their life purpose with passion and abundance. So that might sound nice to some people, but I get caught up on that passion and profit type thing, where a lot of people are just like, okay, that sounds good, Scott, but I'm making money doing what I'm doing, and if I were to change and do what I love and what I know I'm passionate about, how could I really make money doing it? And I have my own beliefs on it, but I'd love to hear what your beliefs are on that. How do you monetize your passion?
Yeah, I think that's a really great question. I think the thing about it is that if you haven't figured out how to monetize your passion, it may be because you're not asking exactly the right questions, or you're not giving the answers enough time to take root. So what I mean by that is that what people run into difficulty with is they say, oh, I'm making a certain income now doing stuff I don't love. And then they expect that moving to do something they love, they're immediately going to step into that same level of income. And I think that if people were more willing to give themselves a little bit more time to ask the question, how can I step into this kind of income, rather than I won't or I can't or it never will happen, they'll begin to be more creative. And really, I think there's always a creative solution to the question of how to marry your passion with your profits.
Yay, cool. We are on the same page.
Yes, we are.
Very cool. All right, so tell me, let's discuss the difference and what you mean between profitability and popularity. What are the differences and what do they mean?
Absolutely. So one of the things that I see online, especially when people are first starting their businesses, is they focus too much on the idea of being popular and not enough on the idea of being profitable. And what that means, you see it so much now in social media, where people count things like, I have 10,000 Twitter followers, or I have 10,000 Facebook fans, or I have 150 connections on LinkedIn. And what ends up happening is people become too focused on the size of their communities without asking the question of whether those communities are profitable for them, or are creating dollars into their business. Yeah. And so one of the things I really suggest to people is, rather than focusing on building fans or followers, that you really look to build true fans. And that is a term that comes from the work of Kevin Kelly. And it talks about the idea that a true fan is somebody who knows of you and buys from you. It's not just somebody who knows of you and doesn't take action. And so I really like to make the distinction that we all need to be focused on profitability first, and then we can worry about our popularity.
All right. Well, that's true, right? In the world of Facebook, you can't help but notice, and you still get it, from people. I don't know if you have it too, but it's like, oh, wow, I have 780 fans. And you know what? I have to say, and this was a while ago already, but when I broke the 500 threshold, there was something between that 499 and that 500. I was like, oh, I got 500 friends. And I was like, wow. And today even, I admire one of my friends who actually went out and he sent out this email. He's my cousin, actually. And he said, no offense, everyone, but I'm doing a Facebook purge. And if I haven't talked to you or heard from you, or I really don't even know your name anymore or why you're on my list, I'm giving you an opportunity to write me right now and remind me. Mm-hmm. And if I don't hear from you, I'm going to just do a Facebook purge. No offense. I just want to clean up my Facebook. And I was like, you know what, cuz? That's a really good idea. And I wrote him back. I'm like, you better not be deleting me.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I think we're seeing that a lot more, because I think at first people got on Facebook and there was definitely like a popularity contest like we used to have in high school, who do you know and who are you connected to and do you know about all the cool parties and everything like that. Yeah. And then I think now people are finding that it's too much to keep up with. They're having a lot of irrelevant information in their feeds. They're feeling tired at trying to keep up with all the energy of all these people that they don't know well or maybe don't know at all. Mm-hmm. And so I think that kind of what I would call right sizing, where people are purging their Facebook friends or limiting the access that people have to them. I think it's a natural response to the feeling of being overwhelmed and having too much information and not enough time to process it.
Sure, that sounds great. Okay, so let's take this to the next level. Let's actually get into the internet marketing space. So for this part of the conversation, for you and the viewership, we're going to be talking about this book, Internet Marketing for the Rest of Us. So, Rachna, before we get into what is inside the book, tell me a little bit more about why you wrote this book and what the reasons were as to why you put this together.
Yeah, absolutely. So the reason I wrote the book primarily is that I was really tired of people spending a lot of money on building their websites and not actually knowing how to use them to support their businesses. And so they would spend thousands of dollars they didn't have to build a website that nobody ever visited. And I felt like that was such a huge waste, because then people would feel, concerned that they spent all of this money. They didn't know how to make their website work for them. And then they would start a blog and not know how to maintain that. And then they would start an email newsletter. And I really just wanted to write the book to create a conversation about how you can build your business in the way that you want to, and you don't have to do it the way everyone else says. And that's really what I tried to do, is I just tried to say that, whatever marketing avenues you choose for your business, choose them and work them, but don't have them just because everyone else does.
Yeah, excellent. And, it's really about the internet marketing for the rest of us, really. So, the in-depth guide for profitable popularity. And you keep on talking about, like, I skimmed through the pages, and you really keep to the theme of the book really nicely, Rachna, and keep it very succinct. So it's a very easy read. One of the questions that I had here was, you talk about business visibility, and it's actually page 64.
Yes.
And you have a little chart on here that I found really interesting. Profitability equals visibility. Visibility visibility, and then with a cross through the arrow, does not equal profitability. Help us understand a little bit more about how important visibility is in business and to be profitable, and just help us understand that a little bit better.
Yeah, definitely. So being visible is really important, but being visible alone, having everybody know your name, isn't enough to make your business profitable. And it kind of goes to the idea of what we were talking about a little bit earlier with this idea of building followers, just so everyone knows your name. But the thing is the graphic really talks about that if you have a plan to turn your visibility into dollars, like you have a sales process that you actually use, your profitability should rise as your visibility does. But too often people think that simply by being visible, they'll automatically become profitable, and that's just not what we see happening.
Yeah. So I've heard it said before, though, that just to be the advocate on this one, right? Because different people say different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure some of the people out there have heard this said, visibility is 80% of really anything on the market. So are they wrong, or would you alter that?
I would alter that. I think that you need visibility to be able. I mean, visibility to me or popularity. They're sort of. I use them interchangeably. I see popularity as being how many people you know who can help you reach your goals, whether it be to make the money you want to make or grow your business of a certain size. So I see your popularity as really being a function to help produce profitability. And so it's different because there's people who sometimes build really large communities and they have no business plan for them. They just keep taking on more friends, taking on more followers, and they really have no idea how to convert those followers into anything for their business. And so that's what I'm against. I'm not against becoming well known. I'm against becoming well known at the exclusion of building cash flow into your business or profitability into your business.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so from that groundwork, how does somebody that's in the internet marketing game want to make their business successful? Let's just say somebody already has a lot of followers through whatever means. They have a lot of people. How do they then take their marketing, and what trends or what ideas would you have to say, okay, well, they have followers, but they're not profitable followers. They're just kind of reading their newsletters. How would you then take those followers and convert them into money, essentially?
Yeah, I talk about it in terms of converting them into true fans. So the idea behind it is that when you have people, when you've gotten their attention, which you have because they're reading your newsletters, the next thing is to start looking at how you can engage them and move them down the continuum of being kind of an interested bystander to somebody who's investing with you in some way, joining your coaching program, buying an ebook or something like that. And so I look at it as a series of concentric circles where you have the attention and then you have engagement. And in the engagement circle, you have things in terms of building the know, like, and trust factor. And so when people come to know of you, there's psychological research that says that the more they become familiar with you, the more that they like you, especially if you're giving them valuable advice or information on each contact. So one of the best ways to move people from just kind of paying attention to you to engaging with you is to really offer them information that educates them, that helps them solve problems that they're having, that engages them and is relevant to them. People pay a lot more attention when you use stories, when you use emotional content, and when you give them something that's relevant and immediately usable that they can adopt and implement right away. So those would be just 3 strategies that people could use to start getting people to move further into relationships with them.
Right on, right on. So you're really passionate about this idea of not just having followers, of really converting those followers into true fans, aren't you?
I am. I absolutely am. And I've seen it happen. It can happen really quickly. I had an experience a few weeks ago where somebody had gotten my book and had posted a picture of it on Facebook and had tagged me and said, "I got my book, I can't wait to read it." And somebody else jumped into the thread and was a little bit confrontational about the book and just basically said, I've read books like this before. What makes this, so different or so interesting? Sure. And so I stepped in and I basically had a conversation and I explained why I wrote the book, what it was for, and I sort of ended up convincing that initial person who was confronting me, and he went ahead and bought the book. And so really in maybe a span of 25 minutes from somebody who didn't know me, I was able to create that know, like, and trust factor to the point where he at least purchased my book. And after he read my book, he then approached me about potentially coaching him. So you can happen really quickly if you know how to move people through that continuum and how to give them sort of what they need to help them understand if you're a good resource for them or not. Yeah. And so I'm not about at all like tricking people or using like in your face hardcore marketing. I'm not like about that. What I'm really about is creating avenues for conversation where people can make informed choices about whether you're somebody who can help them or not.
Right on, right on. So Okay, so what about the person? We talked about the person that has a list, and they have that, I guess, following already, and then how do we actually make them true fans? Okay, what about the person that's starting out?
Yeah, and actually, if somebody who's starting out, they actually have a lot of possibilities. I mean, social media now makes it so easy to get in front of people and test out your ideas. So somebody who's totally new, what I would advocate that they do is they actually take active part in social media, but they do it with a plan. So they seek out, people who are within their target audience. They use social media as sort of a market test of their ideas. So they may say, I'm thinking of offering a webinar on this topic or this topic. Which one do you like better? They might say, I wrote an article about this. Do you think it was useful? Would you pass it on to other people? So they can really get very rapid feedback that can help set the course for their business and help put them in front of people in a very relevant and meaningful way.
Right on, right on. Okay, cool. So let's take this one step different. So I want to know a little bit more about this Maslow's thing. And I know about Maslow because I'm a coach, and most coaches know about Maslow because he's pretty famous. But for the people that are not in coaching and don't know about Maslow's hierarchy, can you tell us about what that is first?
Absolutely. So Abraham Maslow was a humanistic psychologist who created a hierarchy of needs, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And what it basically says is that in order to help people change or develop in their fullest capacity, you have to do it in a hierarchical way, meaning their basic needs for safety, for food, water, shelter, have to be met before their needs for belonging, before their needs for confidence or community, before their needs for self-actualization, which is the highest point of the hierarchy and is really when people step into the fullness of who they are, the greatness, their own abundance. And so Maslow talked about it where if people are kind of working at the level of safety and security, they don't really care about reaching their full potential. So you have to meet the needs where they are. Now what I did is I took Maslow's hierarchy and I applied it to business. And now it's called Jane's hierarchy of business needs.
Yay!
Yay! And what it actually speaks to is it speaks to the idea that you really want to start by building, you want to build profit first. And so the first level is to build profit. The second is to build a cash reserve, then to build your community, and then to grow your community and become more popular, and then to go ahead and do a legacy move or do kind of huge launches. And the reason that's really important is because I see so many new coaches and so many new business owners going for those really big legacy plays where they're putting on a multi-speaker telesummit or they're doing a huge launch of something,
right.
And they don't have any basis, they don't have any foundation for that. So they spend all of their energy, all of their time, and all of their money in putting together that big launch, and then it sort of falls over because there's no foundation. And so my goal with the hierarchy was to really help people learn how to put a solid foundation under their business and to grow it in a way that the bottom levels can support the higher ones.
Right on. Okay, so I'm going to go through this, and if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you a few more questions on this, because
Sure.
I think that this really could help a lot of business owners if they actually got that. So before I do that, I'm just going to put this on the camera so that we can all see it. And it goes from financial sustainability, financial reserve, growth popularity, build platform, and create legacy. So that's the hierarchy that you go up. Okay, so let's do a live example, okay?
Yep.
And maybe somebody else, I'm going to mirror a live example of something I'm going through.
Okay.
And we're going to test your coaching skills.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh boy. And obviously the other reason for this mirroring is for you and the audience to see possibly for yourself how this can be useful. So I'm launching something called the Life Purpose and Abundance Process. And I do have a plan for my launch, but in short, it's a 12-month program. People can enroll in this 12-month program, and it's going to offer like masterminds, a membership site where things unlock once a month. So there's a community that's at part of it, a private Facebook group, training calls, etc. Okay? So how could this hierarchy work for me in my business, I guess my business plan with this?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. So related to this particular offering, what you want to do is you want to make sure first that there's some cash reserves to work from and that your other projects aren't draining those cash reserves. So you have other clients, you have other ways that you're bringing in money to support the launch, and that would take care of the first and second levels. The next level is one where you want to be working on building your popularity. So you start to do a lot of connections with people. You start to seed the offering. You say, I'd like you to help me promote it. I'd like to see if you have clients you might want to refer to it. I'd like to have joint ventures or affiliate relationships with you. And so you're starting to build that community and that sort of grassroots support. From there, before you launch it, you start to build your own platform. So you get your website up, you start talking about it in your social media, you start talking about it in your blog posts, you put out maybe little ebooks about it, or you just try to disseminate your information and educate as many people as you can. And then you basically go to the launch, which I would see as that highest level, and that's how I would lay the hierarchy over this issue of launching this program.
Right on. Okay, so perfect. So what that tells me, I guess, where I'm at in this process is I'm on number 3 right now, which is growth popularity and building relationships and building affiliates and joint ventures as I'm on this hierarchy, right? So the first ones are figured out. The financial reserve and sustainability are there. So the growth, popularity, relationships, and communities where I'm at. Okay, perfect.
Absolutely. And then the one thing I would just add to that is you want to be looking at putting some kind of numbers on that. So if you say that you want to have, let's say, 20 people in the program, you want to look at how you can be sure that you're reaching maybe 1,000 people or 2,000 people, just to be sure that you're able to reach those numbers. Probably by building enrollments through joint ventures and affiliate relationships in your own community, you'll probably have a higher conversion rate than 1%. But I always suggest to people that they be willing to reach many more people than they need to reach to be able to reach them, to have the program fill. And so it's a good thing as you're looking to build this community and start to build your popularity, to be looking at kind of how many what's the numbers of the sizes of people that you're connecting with, so if you've hit sort of that tipping point of being able to get as many people as you want in your program.
Right on. Excellent. Hey, thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Perfect. So, and for you in the audience, maybe there's something that you could take away from this hierarchy. And what I'll do is, with your permission, could I put this up on that page so that people will be able to see your business needs, just so they can refer back to it?
Yeah, actually, I have a graphic I can send you that you can put up. Yeah.
Awesome. That'd be great. Wonderful. All right. So, Rachna, the last question I have for you. Actually, I have 2 questions.
Okay.
That's a lot. I have 2 questions. I have 1 question I'm going to reserve. It's a personal question, and I'll ask you this last question about profitability. And I'm sure, first of all, from the audience point of view or perspective, that you gained a lot about internet marketing. But I'm going to give you an opportunity also to find out more how you can get this book, and how you can find out more about how to become more profitable and passionate and popular as well. So you are very passionate about internet marketing, and it's clear with this. So what drives that passion? Like, what is behind it? Why are you so passionate?
Yeah, so actually I share a story about this in the book, but I think that this idea of being able to influence people that you've never met and to have a positive impact on their life, even if you'll never meet them and they'll never meet you, has always been what's intrigued me. The first time that I had exposure to this, I had written an article back in like 2003, and I got an email from a woman in Tanzania, and I'm based in the east coast of the United States, so I've not ever been to Tanzania, and I'm not sure if I'll ever go to Tanzania, but she had emailed me. And she said, I read your article, and it helped me so much. I've been having challenges at work, and it really helped me, have some new perspectives on how to deal with them. So thank you so much. And I remember getting that email, and I was completely floored. Like, I was like, wow, that is so awesome. And so, not only am I helping somebody, but I'm helping somebody that I would never have had a capacity to meet or connect with otherwise.
Yeah.
And that's when I really understood sort of the power of this technology. And with the easier and easier to connect, I started to think about like, wow, it's within our reach to have global, international impact, just sitting in our houses. I mean, sitting in our houses, we can impact, things that are happening across the world. And so I really see the internet and technology as being a medium to make that happen. And I find that really, really exciting because for people who, want to make a difference in the world, they want to leave some kind of legacy, they want to have a lasting impact.
Yeah.
They're able to accelerate that by using the internet. And so that's a reason why I'm really passionate about it.
Right on. So how do you know when you've reached your goal, like the profitable popularity goal? How do you know?
I think it probably differs some for people, but the way that I look at it is you've become profitably popular when you're making the money that you want to make in the way that you want to make it. You're doing work that you love, you're doing it in a schedule that's sustainable, that you're having a good inflow of new opportunities to you, so your business feels fresh. You have the capacity, the opportunities to meet new people and connect with them. And so I really see it as being kind of a lifestyle way and a health of your business at the same time. And I think you know it because it's sort of like you feel like you're in a sweet spot. You feel like things are running really well. Maybe it's like flow, where you feel like things are running really well, and there's just a little bit of challenge, just enough to keep you interested. But you feel excited, you feel like new things are happening, you have new opportunities. So I would call that, as well as a healthy bottom line, as being a kind of a definition of profitable popularity.
Right, it's a holistic part.
Absolutely.
Wonderful, very cool. All right, so this is my for me question. Ready? So I've been interviewing for a while already, and one question that I started to ask all my guests, and I want to actually publish the results when I get a lot of results. Like I think I'm going to publish it when I hit 1,000. I have a survey, and I'm doing this. What are you looking for in life, Rachna Jain?
A sense of a lasting joy.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like I want to wake up every day and just feel like I'm right where I need to be. I want to feel really happy with what I have. I want to feel like things are unfolding in, really perfect time and in the perfect way. And I have that some days. I have that sometimes. And I see that as a growing edge for myself to feel that way more of the time.
That's right on. That's very cool. Lasting joy. Yes. Cool. So tell us, how can we find out more about you? And how can we go pick up this awesome book?
Well, you can find out more about me at my website, which is profitablepopularity.com. And you can get a copy of the book at the same website, and it's at profitablepopularity.com/book.
All right. Cool. Wonderful. So thank you so much, Rachna, for being part of our show today. And it has been enlightening for me. I was excited to ask you. I had some personal questions about your book and about you that I wanted to throw in. I was really excited about. And for you in the audience, thank you for being part of our episode again. Thank you for being part of our show. Once again, Abundance Coaching TV is life coaching TV that makes a difference. Thanks again, Rachna. It's been awesome having you.
Thanks, Scott. It's been great for me, too.
All right. And for you in the audience, thank you for watching. Until we chat again, live with passion and have abundance in life.